Rev, you sat down yesterday with an exclusive interview with the Vice President of the United States. Tell us about it.
Yes, you know, we're coming up on the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, and Martin Luther King III and Andrea Waters King of the Drum Major Institute and myself from National Action Network decided rather than a commemoration this year, we want to deal with what is going on now. The threats to voters, the threats to women to vote, the threats to the killing of affirmative action, a continuation, and a continuation of the movement that was symbolized with the March 60 years ago. A person that symbolizes that is the Vice President of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Here is a woman, first woman to be the Vice President, first woman of color, first person of color to be Vice President. And building up to this, I wanted to talk to her about how she sees the country 60 years later. And it was more than I asked for. She actually toured me a private office, showing me in her private office where she works. And I'm going to show that in the extensive interview on Politics Nation. She has a picture of her mother who was marching against what happened in Birmingham in the 60s, and a picture over her shoulder of Thurgood Marshall. So activism is in her DNA, but she really showed a real concern of where we are in this country, that we're talking now, Rev, she talks about people are debating voting rights,
right,
like we didn't settle that, or women's right to choose. And to go from women not being allowed to speak at the 1963 march to now a woman is the vice president, we ought to be celebrating that, but also not at the same time seeing women like the Fearless Fund in Atlanta, now the target of the new people that killed affirmative action. I met with them when I came back to New York yesterday. We're seeing women under attack for funding women to get into business.
Right.
We should not allow this to go, because this is what the people fought for in 63, and they won. They made a Barack Obama possible. They made a Kamala Harris possible. All of that is being taken back from us, so that's what we're commemorating, and building up to that is what.
And U.S. Vice President, what the first thing was she thought about it in the morning, this was her answer.
Our democracy. Rev, I think everything is at stake right now. When a democracy is intact, it strengthens the people, it protects and fights for fundamental freedoms, individual rights. It's a fight for order against chaos. It strengthens. On the other hand, democracy, incredibly fragile. It will only be as strong as our willingness to fight for it. And right now, there are many forces that are attempting to purposely, I believe, weaken our democracy.
I mean, yeah, you look at January the 6th, you look at what happened in Tennessee, Donnie, where they kick out 2 black members for protesting. You look at what's happening all over the country. You look even at Ohio, where they try to go from 50% to 60%. You look at what's happening in Florida, where Ron DeSantis kicks out an elected official that got 67% of the vote because he doesn't like her politics. And she got 67% of the vote campaigning on those political positions. And like I said yesterday, this is what I don't get about Republicans. So maybe she's a little too progressive on crime issues for maybe my taste or your taste or the Rev's taste or something. I don't know. Maybe she is. But that's irrelevant. That's what she campaigned on, got 67%. What makes these people think that there's not going to be a Democrat or an independent in the future that fires people who are conservative because they don't like their politics? Like the fact that these Republicans think they can do all of these things that damage constitutional norms and political norms, and it's not going to come back and haunt them later, really shows how ignorant they are.
The ignorance comes down to a simple thought, and I think the vice president's answer about what she wakes up about, what she wakes up in the morning, thinks about democracy is the thing we all should be thinking about.
And by the way, that wasn't supposed to be a big issue in 22. It ended up being a big issue in 22.
Make no mistake about it, and this is why I get so enraged with not the far-right fringe, but the Republican, the establishment Republicans. Right. Do you not understand that if Donald Trump wins, nothing else matters because it's over? Morning Joe might act, just to take a little example, Morning Joe might not exist anymore because Donald Trump has said, as all autocrats say, what they will do. And he said, if I'm elected, I want the FCC reporting directly into me. And he will cancel this show. I mean, you need to think that, excuse me, that extreme. It's over. Freedom is over if Donald Trump gets elected. It's that simple. No other issue matters. Every other issue sprinkles down from that. However you feel about the economy, however you feel about whatever issue you're dealing with, we turn into an autocracy. What our forefathers fought for 250 years ago is over. That's what's at stake at this election. Everything else is a subtext to that.
Well, I mean, you look at what's happened in Hungary. You look what's happened with Orban. Orban didn't take broadcasters out that opposed him, lined them up against the wall and shot him. No, he just regulated them out of business. What's Donald Trump done? He's looked at what Orban's doing. He said, OK, I'm going to have control of the FCC so I can decide what shows are on TV and what shows are not on TV. I have liberals all the time saying you need to push to have Fox News, like get the FCC to investigate this and get the FCC to investigate that. It doesn't work that way in America. It doesn't work that way, at least in this America. But that's how Donald Trump wants it to work in his America.